Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to Watchlist. Think of this as basically your monthly TV guide to kind of tell you the dates of when, season premieres happen, as well as series premieres for shows that you may or may not care about. Like I brought up in the one I did last month for January, that basically this is still me test running it. So for right now, obviously I'm doing just TV shows, but I might add stuff to it in the future. But nevertheless, let's just get to it. On February 1st, which will be today by the time this goes up, we have the season 4 premiere of The 100, which I'm super excited about because this is going to be the first episode subsequently since the whole Allie situation has been dealt with. Obviously there's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming up about that because it's going to be ramifications for what went down and what a lot of people did while they were under Allie's control, as well as just Clark ended up finding out Earth is in the state that it's in basically afterwards because part of Allie's plan kind of went off. So it's like, kind of dealing with that, like what they're going to do with that, and also just where everyone in general stands, because it seems like we might be back to the Grounders and Sky people like being at odds again. I mean, granted, even with a lot of stuff happened, not even outside of just Allie's control that kind of put them at odds. So it seems like they're revisiting that possibly. Probably, definitely when it comes to Bellamy, probably. And also on February 1st, we have the season premiere of The Expanse, which I've never seen the first season. From the little bits I've seen obviously from last season, as well as, seeing the previews for this season, seems very interesting. It's just, I just haven't checked it out yet. So, but I'm just adding that in there to anyone that does care, like, if you decide that you want to check it out. It's a sci-fi show. I mean, it's a science fictional show on the Sci-Fi Channel, is what I'm trying to say. On February 2nd, we have the series premiere of Training Day, which totally caught me by surprise. I didn't know that that was actually being made into a TV show. I remember a while back a list of movies that were being turned into TV shows. I didn't even hear about Training Day, so that's kind of interesting. So nevertheless, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, it doesn't seem like it's necessarily following the movie storyline of being like, oh, you have an absolutely dirty cop. It just seems like it seems more of a redemption story about like one good cop trying to help out a cop that's kind of strayed from the path. So that's going to be kind of interesting. And also on that day, we also have the series premiere of Powerless, which if you haven't seen anything for it, don't know what I'm talking about. It's a new NBC show that basically takes place in the DC universe. Basically, in particular, I didn't even know this until I started watching the previews, is that it takes place at a Wayne Enterprise kind of tech company, not run by Bruce Wayne, but like his cousin or something like that. That basically they make devices and stuff to protect the everyday citizen from like, superhero battles. It's basically like, oh, this is what happens in the DC universe to regular people trying to survive when they have like superheroes going at it against supervillains and stuff like that on a regular basis. I remember hearing the premise about this a while back, and I kind of let it slip my mind until I start seeing previews for it and stuff like that. I didn't know specifically that it took place in the DC universe. I thought it was just going to be some made-up superhero universe. Then on February 3rd, we have the Santa Clarita Diet. It's a new show on Netflix that I saw little bits of. Has Drew Barrymore and Timothy Oliphant. What I like, obviously, like when I saw it originally, I was like, oh, they're just like, well, it doesn't seem like necessarily he's one, but it was like her, like Drew Barrymore's character is a cannibal and she eats people's brains and stuff like that. But I didn't realize like well, at first I didn't know about the whole brain thing, but apparently like she's a zombie and that's why she was doing that. Totally did not catch that until I caught a little bit more of it. I was like, oh, did not even know there was a whole zombie element to it. I thought she was just, hey, I want to eat people. So, but it seems like more particular than anything, it's brains. It seems like it might have a little bit of a Dexter side to it as well. We're being like, oh, search out the baddest of people and then eat them because they suck. It's not like 100% a serious series. It does seem like it's a comedy horror. So that's very interesting. I'm going to be very interested to check that out, see what that's all about. On February 6th, we have this new police procedural crime drama called APB. Essentially, it's like a pretty rich dude decides to kind of upgrade a particular police department, giving them like the latest tech and tools at their disposal to kind of help them deal with police situations. Lucifer is going on a break, so this will be taking its spot for the time being. So to anyone that's curious, Lucifer returns May 1st. And on February 8th, we have the series premiere of Legion, a show that I've kind of been on the lookout for a little while. It is a Marvel show that deals with a Marvel character named Legion. He's a character I'm not familiar with at all. I learned little bits here and there just from hearing other people talk about him, in particular who his dad is. Obviously I won't spoil it because that might be a big thing in the show. I've seen very little of the show, so I don't even know what its structure is going to be like, how like the story's going to, like what's actually going to go down in it. Basically, just a kind of side note, a little bit I know, Legion is like one of the most powerful mutants that exist in the, you know, Marvel universe. Essentially, he's like super powerful. Exactly what his powers entail, I'm not 100% sure. I think they said like basically he can copy mutants' abilities, that he can essentially do any and everything. Like he's like a super OP character, but I don't like I said, this is just based off now like bits I'm possibly remembering. I could be getting it 100% wrong. We'll just kind of have to wait to see how it all like kind of plays out. So on February 12th, we had the return of The Walking Dead. Super excited about that because of the way the mid-season finale ended. Like basically everything's good now. They're just, Rick has kind of got everyone together like, nope, we're gonna fight back. You know, he more than anyone has always been reluctant to fight back against Negan, but now he is. You know, little spoilers going forward. Obviously we see, it seems like he's gathering everyone together. It's like getting Hilltop as well as the Kingdom to kind of work together to kind of band their resources together to take down Negan. And on February 23rd, we have The Blacklist Redemption, another show I had no idea was a thing. Essentially, from the little bit we've seen in the preview, it seems like at the very least the three main characters will be Tom, Susan Hargrave, and possibly Solomon. I'm not sure. Basically, the way they're like promoted in it, they're like, oh, that basically this is kind of like blacklisters who are trying to get redemption. So I don't know whether it's going to be like a long line of previous blacklisters, in particular the ones that are still alive, trying to get redemption, or is it just these three? Like, I'm trying to find out. I'm not really sure what it is that they're all working towards. And I'm sure this is also a big focus of this is actually going to be Tom's story, you know, finding out more about his family history, who his dad is, and stuff like that. It doesn't seem like this is like a 100% adaptation of like the movies turned into a TV show. It seems more that it's actually Liam Neeson's character from the Taken movies, but how he got to where he was, that basically what led to him kind of going down the path and eventually getting to where he is in the Taken movies. To anyone that's curious, I've only ever seen the first Taken movie. I haven't seen a second or third one. I know obviously the basic premises are behind them. I mean, it's a Taken movie, so you kind of know the basic premise behind them. It seems very interesting. It seems like the big premise behind this TV show is that basically his sister gets killed, and it's him tracking down the people who killed his sister. Like, that seems like at the very least that's going to be the season-wide storyline. So, and that is everything that I have on my list for this episode of Watchlist. Obviously that's not everything there is, because obviously there's some shows that I'm unaware of or other things that I forgot about. If there's any particular show that I might have missed or didn't know about, put it in the comments down below. Maybe it's something that you like that you want other people to know. It's like, oh yeah, this is totally a thing. It doesn't have to fit this whole like particular, you know, like I cover a lot of dramas. I talk about dramas because that's kind of like what I like to watch most of, but you can include other stuff. It's like, oh yeah, like whatever, like it could be a particular game show that you want other people to know is coming out, or comedy series, or whatever the case may be. It's like stuff I might have left off this, well, not might have, definitely have left off this list that you want other people to kind of check out, you know, stuff that you're interested in, because, you know, that's what I kind of, you know, because this list is basically entirely stuff that I'm interested in, and to anyone that might have the same particular taste in TV as me. But really, that's the end of this. That's all I really wanted to say. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.